For this module, we are going to put together a bunch of Google Slides that has all of the information on it. And you are going to do research for each of these, and we're also going to tie in ELA and do some other stuff with it. And so if you look here in this description here, you're going to see there's going to be at least 52 slides when this is over. Don't panic. We're going to spread them out over time. But make sure that you are taking care of what you need to take care of. How do you make Google Slides and how do you submit them? Same way as anything else. So I am going to go into my Google Drive. If you don't know how to get to your Google Drive, once you're in your Gmail, you can go to your waffle here, and it should be right there. There's my drive. I happen to be in my Block 2 one. I'll show you how to move things around if you want to. And then make some Google Slides. All you do is hit New, choose Google Slides. There it is. Great, and share. The directions for this one tell you to, let's make sure I'm in the right place, tell you to name it Alternative Sources of Energy. So that's what our module is. So I'm just going to highlight and copy that, and I'm going to put that in my title. And just like you do with Google Docs, I'm going to go and change the permissions. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say anyone with the link can view. Let's see, anyone in this group, this is Boca County, let's change to anyone with the link can view. And I'm going to copy my link and hit done and go and submit it in this assignment. I'm not in as a student, so you'll have this submit assignment up here. Go submit the URL so that you already have it in, so any work you do, we can give you the grade for it. So submit it before we even start. So what do we need to do for each one? So every day or so, we're going to give you a couple topics, and you are going to create 4 slides for those topics. Some days there's 1 topic, some days there's 2 topics, some days there's 3 topics. But generally, it's not going to be more than 2. And today's topics are going to be wind power and solar power. And you are going to do some research and create 4 slides for your Google Slides. All right, so make sure that you take your time and do it. You are going to put the name of it, an animation with an image or a citation in there for the first one. So just because I forgot, if you want to move it to the right folder, you can click here to move it to the correct folder. So if you click here, you can do all the things that we know how to do, put it into Block 1. If you click back here, I can go to my Block 3 if I wanted to put it in there. Click on it, and it could be moved there. I don't want to do that, so I am going to X out of this. And for each one of these, you are going to create slides, and I'm sure you guys are better at making these slides prettier than I am, so I'm not even going to talk about that. So for the first one, it's going to be called Wind Power. So slide 1 is going to have the name and animation. You can make these as pretty as you want, but it is all about the information. And they need to be in order. I'm going to talk about some extra credit here in a second for you when we get down to it. So there's my wind power. I'm going to put this down here because I want to put my link in here. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to see what it says. It says on slide 1, add an animation. How do you find animations? For Google Docs and Google Slides, the best way is to use Google to search it and use the images. So all I did was search exploding wind turbine GIF for this one, or you could search wind turbine animation or nuclear power animation, and they'll come up. When you click on the pictures, it'll start moving over here. So I like this one. So here's how you take it. It's very simple to do. I'm going to grab it. All I've done is clicked on it, and I'm holding on to it, and I'm going to bring the mouse or your finger up to the part that has the Google Slides, and I'm just going to place the picture right there. And it will take a second, and it's actually not going to be the picture, it's going to be the animation. And like I said, you guys are probably better at moving all these things around than I am. So mine's not going to be very pretty. There's mine. I'm going to move the picture up here. I want to have an animation of some sort of wind turbine, so why not choose something that's interesting? That's what I say. And then it also says in the directions to give the link. It says, give the website citation. So to do that, you're going to right-click on your image. You can actually go to the place if you want to. The easiest way is to copy the image address, or you can copy the link address. There it is there. I'm going to copy the image address, so I'm just going to click there. And then let's go and put it below it. And Control V is paste, and there it is. That's big enough and fine. If you want to change the size, you're welcome to make it smaller. If you want to make it an active link, you're welcome to. I know some of you guys know how to do that. And then if you want to add another one to go to the next slide, you just hit the add. So you're going to add the next slide, and there it is. You can change, like I said, the themes if you guys want to. You are welcome to. I am not going to do that because I don't want to spend all of your time. If you want to change the size of that, there's the size of the font, so you're welcome to do that. Hey, but let's look and see what each one of these should have. So slide 1 for each one, in this case, should have the name and an animation, which we have. Slide 2 is a description of how it works. Must be in your words. Make sure you always put stuff in your words, otherwise you're stealing and we can't give you credit for it. So on slide 2 for these ones, you should have a description of how it works. Okay, so in this case, make it simple. Okay, in this case, let me see here. In the case of a wind turbine, the wind turns a generator, or wind turns a generator that makes electricity, and it gets stored. Or something simple like that. Look it up. Oh, a turbine, not a generator. A wind turns a turbine that makes electricity that gets stored. So something as simple as that. Make sure that you put it in your words. Okay? And then find 2 real-world examples. If you can find places in North Carolina that had wind turbines, perfect. Okay? So we always want to focus on our state if we can, but if you can't, you can look for other places. Okay? So where are the wind turbines in the world? I know there's some cool stuff in California going where they're putting wind turbines in caves, because caves have that natural wind multiplier as it goes through there. If you've ever stood at the mouth of a cave, the wind comes out of it. So they're putting wind turbines there to collect it. There's also some out in the Gulf of Mexico. There's tons of them near Japan and China. They're using them awesome out that way. So if you can't find North Carolina, use the other ones. 3 pros and 3 cons. 3 positives to using wind power and 3 negatives to using wind power. That's going to be on slide number 3. This one clearly seems to be a negative because it's kind of exploding, but that one's an easy one. One that they didn't talk about when they first came up with wind power was birds. Birds were flying into them because birds follow where the wind goes, and they were getting killed by the wind turbine. So there's been actions to do that. There's other stuff about farmland and things. I don't want to give away all those. Okay, so you're going to include 3 pros and 3 cons. And then we're going to tie ELA into this. You are going to create a cinquain poem. I could be saying that wrong. Following the format below. You should know about nouns, adjectives, verbs, and descriptions. It tells you how many words to use. And Miss Gilmore created one for solar power. And here is her cinquain for solar power. You must create one for wind, and that will be the 4th slide. There's an optional 5th slide for each one. The optional 5th slide for each one is a pop culture reference. Where in the world of popular culture, like TVs, movies, commercials, have you seen wind turbines? Easiest one would be The Simpsons. Homer works at a nuclear power plant for nuclear energy. That could be a great pop cultural reference for that one. Where have you seen wind turbines? I know there's a commercial for a truck where they're driving the tine of the wind turbine, or they're dragging it behind the truck. There's also another one for a truck that has hydroelectric power behind it. And so that is an optional 5th slide for each one. So this grade is going to be out of however many points times 52, but you also have the option of having extra credit for each one of these that we do, and that will help everybody out. Use the internet, but make sure you cite where you get your information from. Do not steal stuff. Do not copy and paste. If it is copy and pasted, even though you may not understand nuclear, put it in words that you understand. There's places to get that information, and we're going to talk about it in class as well. You could also use this info book. You click here, it'll take you to an info book. I don't know if I have it, so it opens here. And each one of them is listed in this info book, and if you click on it, so here's wind power right there. Here's some great information about wind power. So if you want to use a book, you're welcome to use the book. Make sure that you read the situation here and check the due dates. Every couple days, we're going to add 2 or 3 more, so make sure you stay on top of this assignment. If you have any questions, make sure you ask in class. I look forward to seeing some wonderful projects. Try some advice, I guess, is to try to find animations or pictures that interest you, that draw your mind to it. That's why I chose this one, because as soon as I see that, I start thinking, man, that's interesting to learn about. So try to make it yours, and I look forward to seeing new projects.